promoting ethical leadership, and inspiring meaningful community impact. Our topic tonight is leading with purpose, inspiring service, developing leaders, transforming communities. This promises to be an insightful and inspiring session for Lions, Leos, prospective members, professionals, and everyone passionate about leadership and community. I hereby welcome Rotarian Demola. Thank you. Hello. Hello, Rotarian Demola.
Okay, thank you so much. I didn't know I was muted.
Okay, so sorry. Before you start, I want to do some housekeeping. Kindly mute your microphone throughout the presentation, except when invited to speak. Please use the chat box for questions, and there will be an interactive session after the presentation. We encourage everyone to stay until the end. And also, the attendance link will be posted on the chat room. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. My district governor, I want to follow protocols and district leaders here present, Lions and Leos, and guests, if any. I want to thank you for the privilege to be here. Sincerely speaking, most people, unless if I decide to switch off my camera and I decide to speak, most of you will assume that it is a lady that's speaking, because God has given me a very beautiful voice, resemblance of a woman. So if you call me Sister Demola, you may not be too wrong because of my voice until you put the face to me. That's why sometimes when my wife calls me sweetheart. She calls me sweetheart anytime I am actually leading in my home as the head of the home. But anytime she calls me Demola Martins, it means that we are going to start all over again. That is when we started dating. So for tonight, I want to stick to that. My name is Demola Martins. Thank you so much. I will be running you through the topic that was given to me. When I was contacted and I got this topic, I was elated. I was elated because it's a topic that actually resonates around me, leading with purpose. And I'll be running this too so that we don't get too bored, because most of the things I have on my slides here are what we've had so many times. Even some of us have read books. 360 degrees leadership said it all, that you can lead from anywhere. You read lots of books about leadership. And for me, what I'll be doing differently for the next 30 minutes, I'll have 10 minutes to interact, and then probably another 10 minutes to get questions, is that I'm going to be telling a story. You make more impact when you tell stories. And it is somebody that has a story that can make quality impact. So I want to please bear with me as we journey together on this process of leading with purpose. The first thing I had here was, if we are to lead with purpose, I asked myself, who is actually a leader? Who is a leader? Who is a leader? A lot of times we ask ourselves, who is a leader? When you ask can you define a leader? You have so many, you would get so many definitions of a leader. And for me, I put it as a leader is a person of vision, purpose, who influence one, inspires, empowers others to achieve a shared goal through character, service, and intentional action. Please influence, inspire, and empower. So, as a leader, what do you have to put on the table? If this definition does not describe who you are, Demola Martins, it means you may not be ascribed or called a leader. Because, and that is why I tell quite a lot of people that it is not about the title. Leadership is not about the title. Leadership is not about the position. Leadership is not about the authority or the popularity that makes you a leader. No. Leadership, sometimes some people say is inborn. When I joined some years back in the higher institution, when I joined an organization called JCI, because I was looking for an opportunity to develop that which is in me. Because the first thing is you must also understand who you are. For you to inspire, you must know who you are. Because if you cannot even inspire yourself, how do you inspire others? So the first thing you want to do is who you are. Who are you? Who are you? I knew that there was something in me while I was growing up. Even while I was very young, I knew there was something in me. But to discover that which is in me, it requires me to get more exposed. And that is why I joined a leadership training organization that made me quickly discover who am I. And at that point, the first day I entered into that meeting, and it's an organization between the ages of 18 and 40. So you know they are pretty young, vibrant, and future-looking leaders. And the first thing that came to my mind is, how do I make impact? How do I make impact? There were at that point, for every organization, for every club, there will be a president, there will be directors, there will be everyone, members of the ESCO, members of the board, and there will be, of course, floor members. So, of the truth, you must start as a member of a floor member, and that is where leadership starts. That is where leadership starts, because leadership starts not from the other side, but from this side of the table. And that is why you will see that it is only a bad follower that becomes a bad leader, and a good follower becomes, and that is why I keep saying that leadership starts from the day one you joined an organization, the day one you join a club. You are already a leader because you are leading from behind. And at that point in time, you see, and that is why some people will say, yes, I am not president, I am not the president, so I'm not a leader. I don't have any position, so I'm not a leader. And I tell you, what you are the director of projects. You are a leader. As director of project, what are you doing? As director of project, you know that you have to form a committee. If you form a committee, those members of that committee reports to you, automatically makes you a leader. That you are not president does not mean you are not a leader. So and it is not until you become president that you now feel that you are a titled leader. No, you lead from everywhere. And it is not even until when you get that position. Like I said, it is when immediately you join an organization, you join a club, as a member, you automatically becomes a leader. Because why? There is a flow. There's every life that you will become one day. Climb the process to become a leader by title. I call it a leader by title because if you are president, if you are district governor, you are a leader by title because everybody entrusted that in you. But that must start when you come in. So it is not until you say, I am a president. That is when leadership starts. No, it is not when you say I am director of this. That is when leadership starts. No, or because you are popular. everybody knows you. When I finished school and I joined a city chapter of the JCI Ikeja, at that time I became very popular because when you come to the meeting, in those days we used to meet at Sheraton Hotel. When you come to the meeting, you will understand who that Demola Martins is around, because I'll make the meeting lively. I would overwork myself. I come to meeting early. I do everything. I mean, virtually all committees. Virtually in all committees, I am there. Even whether they appointed me or the president didn't appoint me, I will make sure that I find my way into that committee, and I was working. So everybody recognizes me when I come in. Extremely popular. Extremely popular. And at that point, I feel, okay, it means that it is with this popularity, that makes me prepared just 2 years into the year to become a leader, because I'm popular. Everybody knows me. Everybody knows what I can do. And I decided to run, after 2 years, decided to run for vice president. And I was very optimistic. About 3 of us came out to run for that position. And I was very optimistic. Because of my popularity, I was very, very optimistic that I was going to win that election. And after when the result was announced, lo and behold, I came distance third. And I was wondering, how can I lose this election? With all the popularity, does it mean people do not like me? Or does it? And that wasn't the answer. Even when you go to God, for you give with some prayer requests. Some certain times, a lot of people will say, no, God does not answer prayer, and the answer is no, because you don't have a shoe, you don't have a job doing, you don't have anything doing, you are still trying to look for a job, you are newly graduated, and you write, and they ask you to write your prayer request, and you said, Father, please give me a wife or give me an husband. I'm sure that God knows that it is good. It is what He prepared for you, but He will not give it to you, because He knows that He's going to give you a God. Because He knows that you must achieve something before you ask for such thing, and He will graciously approve. So at that point, I realized that it is not about leadership, is not about popularity. At that point, I realized that leadership is not about popularity, it's not about authority, it's not about position. So what then does leadership entails? What then does leadership entails? Leadership is about the ability for you to influence. Ability for you to influence. Over the years, I've grown to immediately after I lost that election, I went back. I didn't retire. A lot of people, when they lose election, when they are not appointed, they get tired and they revert to their old ways. They feel that everything is lost, and they feel what they want to achieve what they want to get. And for me, I instead of retiring, I refired. I begin to do much more than I was doing. And at that point, anytime I'm given any task, I make sure that for every opportunity I have, to do it, I would influence those around me. Yes, and for every committee I've added, I've made sure. For every committee I've added, I've made sure that it is not only about me carrying that, and I bring out leaders out of my committees. For example, there was a time I was appointed the vocational service chair, and nobody wants to take up that role because it's always very tiring. You need to look for sponsorship, do the runarounds and all of that, and nobody likes such a project. So, but when I took it over, the first thing I did was to tell Mr. President, I said, Mr. President, what I need is to give me quality committee members. And immediately I got those quality committee members, I decided to look at who will succeed me, who will run this project next year. That was the first thing I had to pencil down in my diary. Who will run this project next year? Because this project must not die. And what did I do? I begin to, for every actions I take, I make sure that all of them are carried along. For the need assessment, how we are going to run from beginning to end. And I begin to discover one of them, looking at the way I run it. They begin to look at me, they begin to learn from me. And lo and behold, this is about 5 years that I was the vocational service. And that project has run year in, year out. And if you look at it, most of my committee members then at one point or the other being the chairman of that committee, and that is influence. For you to be able to even ask members to do something even you cannot do, for you to ask members to do something you cannot do, you must have some level of influence. Even in my business, there are a lot of times I know what I can do. I know my worth. I know, and when I bring in staff, when I have staff and I'm doing, my staff knows that for me to say, go do A, B, C, D, they know that I can do A, B, C. I only wanted them to add D and E to fleshing it up so that it doesn't look about me. So for me, how am I able to use my life to influence? How am I able to do that? It means that you cannot even give what you don't have. It means for you to be able to influence as a leader, you must have some something within you that you want to sell. You cannot sell, you cannot give what you don't have. You must be equipped. A lot of people assume leadership, and you see that they fail in leadership. They fail in leadership not just simply because while they were followers, they assume that the only way you can make impact is when you become a leader, and they have no leadership influence on followers. So when such person becomes a president, it becomes a problem. It becomes a problem because everybody will look at you to see what you want to do before they can take action. And when you cannot take any responsibility, it becomes a problem. And that is why you also have a leader. Leadership is about responsibility. A lot of things befall us as leaders. Immediately you become president, or you are appointed as service project or a committee chair, a lot of responsibility befalls you. So it is important that you begin to lead right from there, and that is where a lot of leaders are discovered. We've had people who, even to the state governors, a state governor will just come one day and call his friend and say, please, I need someone who can do this, do this, do this. And the next thing that comes to mind is, I think Demola Martins can do this. Because why? At some point of my growing career, I've been able to lead at every position I was given to serve, whether as membership chair, member at service project, or club admin. For every area, even as secretary, in all areas, I've been given responsibility, and I've been able to do that. And one of those leadership is also about service. Leadership is about service. It's about vision. It's about impact. For you to be a leader, you must possess all this. You must have the responsibility, because you must have ability to influence others. You of a truth, you cannot force members to do what they don't want to do when they know that even you cannot do it. And people look at you while you were journey to on your journey to leader to become a leader. They look at what you have been able to do over the years, and they know that you cannot. You cannot. Even your actions or inactions cannot influence them to do much more for me. I looked at it as there must be a purpose. purposeful leadership, leading with purpose. For you to lead with purpose, you must, one, set a clear goals. And not even, the goals must be very big. For me, a lot of people tell me while I was joining, before I became president of JCI, president of Rotary, they tell me that I'm over ambitious. And for me, it's not about being over ambitious, but I set clear goals for myself. The day one I joined the club, I told myself that I could be this. That was and I said, that is for me personally. I set a clear goal for myself, and I told myself, how do I achieve these goals? And I begin to pencil down. I'll participate in all club activities. I would bring in more members into the club. I would attend all club functions. I will attend club meetings. I will do this. I will do clear goals for myself. And I begin to follow that path until as a club, in an organization, as a leader, you must set clear goals and big goals, so that your team will know that it is. I think it is like my district governor will say, it's a work day. They will know that there's a lot of work to do. There is a lot of impact to make, and they will be in tune with the goals. So it is important that as a leader, you must set clear, unambiguous goals, and you must understand the assignment yourself. Leading with clarity and responsibility. You must understand the goals. You must understand, because some people will set some goals. Probably, in the era of copy and paste, you look at your predecessor, you look at what he did, you just go and copy his plan of action and paste it and say, my team members, this is what we want to achieve. The assignment you guys want to run to, you don't even understand. So as a leader, you must understand the assignment. Before I became president, I had the privilege of losing election almost 3 times. And for every year that I was going to put myself forward for nomination, I had a clear goals. And I will put down that goals to say, once I become president, I'm going to do, we are going to, on service project, these are the projects we are going to do. For members, this is my my intentions for membership, this is my intention for administration, and all of that. I set clear goals, and I understand the path of where I'm going to as president. So I make it very clear, and I ensure full responsibility, and it is value driven. I make decisions. And that is one of those things, as a purposeful leader who has set a clear goals and understand that person must make decisions based on principles. For me, I would not, because if you have 2 vice presidents, for example, and one of the vice presidents tends to see that for every decision you take favors one of the vice president than the other, you begin to lose your leadership drive. You begin to lose who you are, because everybody feels it's for they have caucus now. So as a leader, you must be value driven. They must know you for who you are, and it is until when they know that you understand the assignment, that is when they can even believe in your leadership. And for me, I make clear decisions. I'm always, for every decision I take on behalf of the club that affects the members, I am always fair to all concerned. For everything you bring to me, if I want to sign, I tell you, are you sure that it is right? Are you sure that you can defend this? So as a leader, you must be sure that for everything you do, you are able to defend, and you must be value driven. And I say you must be authentic. Genuinity is key. And I tell you, if you look at leaders who are genuine, who are very genuine, not film trick, not prank, very genuine, you will see that followers will naturally follow you. and I've said it severally, you can preach a better sermon with your life than with your lips. You will see that at some point when you see that the leaders and the followers are not aligning, go and check it out. It means that there's something that leadership is not good doing. It means that there's something, there's a gap. Yeah, people are, because anything that is natural, sells very fast. Anything, and that's why you see, check water sells. Check oil sells. They are natural. Anything that is crude oil, anything that is natural sells. So if you have a natural leader who is genuine, you influence your members. But if you feel, no, I know how to play them now, it's just natural. You just realize that you will not be there will not be any connect, and you'll be wondering, has somebody gone to gossip me to Demola behind me? Because Demola used to, when we started the year, Demola was everywhere for me. Before I call him, he has picked his call. But it is not that Demola was gossiped about you, but because something you have drifted, and naturally, followers will notice. Followers may not even notice. It's just that you see that they begin to lose confidence in such a leader. So it is important that a purposeful leader must lead with genuinity and must be passionate about service. Service. If you think it is workshop or shop work, it is no longer service. A lot of people must be ready to serve before expecting recognition. A lot of I've seen where after serving for 365 days, a president will then give award recognizing those who have done excellently well, and he would also, and this may be personal anyway, will also go and make a very big plaque for himself, and he would give himself an award. And I begin to wonder, what kind of recognition is that? If you have a leader, you don't need to recognize yourself if you have passionately rendered service, because your work, what you have done, will speak for you. Sincerely, what you have done will speak for you. So, of all this, you must leadership begins with service. Leadership begins with service. So, a servant leader, people may forget what you said, but they never forget how you feel. You must inspire, because you must even be able to inspire yourself. A lot of people cannot inspire themselves. They want to inspire others. You cannot give, like I said, you cannot give what you don't have. Leadership begins with serving. Leadership begins with you. Are you able to run even your personal life? Are you a true leader? As a servant leader, do you listen? You want to inspire? Do you listen to your team members? Do you allow them to talk? Do you allow them to give suggestions, even in your workplace? Does your team members, your subordinate, do they have ideas? Do you listen to them? Do you encourage them? Once they make small mistake, you begin to box them. You begin to bring them down as if they know nothing. Do you really truly encourage your team member? If you want to lead, you must encourage. If you have not been encouraged, I don't think you will become a leader. Have you been? What is your definition of when they say, okay, I'm an inspiration to so many? How? Do you listen? Do you encourage? Do you empower? Do you empower? If you don't empower members, how do you continue to work? It means that you will continue to do the work year in, year out. It means that you are not going to build. That is why you see that somebody will become the president of an organization 10 times. You will continue to be president because you are not empowering your followers to be able to also take that position. You must empower, and that is where inspiration also comes in. You must support your team.
Fine.
I've had opportunity to lead teams, and the only thing I do is to ensure that I support them. When we have projects, I always listen to them. I run them through because nobody knows it all. I run them through. I encourage them. I tell them you can do it. And when we achieve it, I tell them you guys have done well. Without you, we'll never have been able to achieve this. And I do a lot of sacrifices. I remember when I was president of my club, we were to have a project. And everybody knows that for this president who have served in virtually all the committees, virtually in all the directorates, before becoming president, that is very equipped. It wasn't a joke. Everybody knows that I was equipped. I was prepared. I haven't lost election for 3 times. And it means that I was over prepared for the job. So for every plan A, I have a plan B. And I told my service project. I said, the next project we'll be having is next week. What is your plan? Say, Mr. President, I said, don't worry. Go and bring your plan number 2. This is what you are going to do. This is what call this person, write this letter, do this. And one of those things that shocked me was when he called me, he said, Mr. President, can you come and pick me up? Can you come to my and pick me up? And I woke up and I was like, how would this lady ask me to come and pick her up? But for me, I feel no. The goal is clear. If I don't do this, some people may say, no, I cannot do that. That is insult. I said, no, I'm a servant leader, actually. But there are some certain things as a leader I must sacrifice to be able to achieve our clear goals. And as a leader, if you know you cannot sacrifice, you have no business becoming a leader. If you know you cannot sacrifice, if not, you will just be quarrel today, quarrel tomorrow. And that is the only way. And when I do this, I feel excited doing it. I feel excited doing it because at the end of the day, everybody feels, wow, Mr. President, I don't think I can do this. But this what you have done is, and we begin to see a lot of them do even much more, do sacrifice much more because they know who the leader is. They know Demola Martins. They know what I can do. They know that I don't play games. And if I say A, it is A. And that is, once you're able to inspire these leaders, you are also giving yourself a future rest in your team, in the office. If as the MD CEO, you don't have management team, you don't have anybody, you are the one doing, you are the alpha and the omega. Don't worry now. You continue to do your work. You continue to be the alpha and the omega all through. It means that the problem, anytime you fall sick, nobody comes to your rescue. The business is over. So if you are not inspiring, you are not inspiring, you are not encouraging, you are not building, it means that developing leaders will be a great problem. Great leaders build more leaders. And that is one of those things that I take. I was able to take. Like I said, for me, I will make, for every position I have been opportune to hold, I make that position so juicy that everybody look forward to becoming this and that. When I was vocational service and I did the unthinkable, everybody wants to be also wants to be vocational service. I tell them, when I became president, I make it so nice that you feel that when you sit on that seat, it's so easy that it is. I make it so seamless. So seamless that you will feel that does it mean the issue? And everybody have come and they say this president is everybody is running away from becoming president. Why is this one running this president as if it's very easy? Because what I try to do is I build leaders amongst the leaders. Great leaders. I build great leaders who I give, once I'm able to give them the roadmap how to achieve success. I train them on, for example, I sometimes I'll tell them we write sponsorship letter for projects, and I'll begin to write letters, let them see the way I write letters. I send it to them so that they can archive it, so that because I'm very sure that in the future they may find themselves in such a position and they will also need it. So I make them understand the flow. I recognize potentials immediately. Once for every organization, for every club, even in my Rotary, I looked out for leaders and I discovered them. I discovered quite a lot because I know some of the traits I have that has pushed me to where I am and where I'm going to. And once I begin to discover these traits in people, I begin to push them. Unknowingly to them, I begin to push them. There was one of our members that said, we usually run an online newsletter, and this lady she's an IT person. She's very good at what she does. And a magazine, a physical hard copy newsletter, and then in the long run you can produce a magazine. And she said, no money. I said, no, there's money. You have the money. What you need to do is do this, write sponsorship letter, look for adverts, look for this. And the first meeting of this Rotary year, she called me. She said, are you coming for meeting? I said, yes, I'm coming. She said she wants to show me something. I told her, you can come. She produced newsletter, and she kept one newsletter for me to see. And I was excited, and everybody was giving her applause. I said, wow, so you could do this? I said, yeah. First meeting of the year, and that was exciting. So we need to, as leaders, as a purposeful leader, you must be able to recognize our potential and mentor them intentionally. And that's what I'm doing, because I don't want our club to die. I want our club to outlive us. Our club is 44 years. And I want that club to outlive us, live another 40 years. And for that to happen, it means I must be intentional in building leaders that would make sure that there's consistency in the club. And for that, we must begin to look at intentionally mentor leaders, mentor the new ones to be able to attain. And then as leaders, we must be able to if you are to develop leaders, we must make sure that we'll delegate responsibility. Don't do it all. You cannot do it all. Provide opportunities for young ones. Let them learn. Newer members, let them learn. Let them be creative. Let them have the opportunity. Let them feel you. Let them feel that they can also do it. Let them be everywhere. If you truly want to have a club that is thriving, a club that will outlive you, it means that you must be intentional about developing future leaders that will take over from you. And that is the only way we can begin to transform our communities. Once you inspire, you are able to develop leaders. These leaders come together, form a team, and begin to transform communities. Leadership is successful when communities become better. Leadership is successful when community becomes better. And that's why sometimes when they say, when you are immediate past president, if your sitting president does not succeed, it means that you have failed. Yeah. If you are not able to build successful leaders, develop successful potential leaders, you may not be too successful. And for me, leadership is successful when communities become better. And transformation can only happen through innovation, compassion, education, and economic empowerment. A lot of things I do, I tell my people, even this year, they've called me for their board meeting severally. I said, no. I said, because anytime I attend your board meeting, yes, as past president, I must attend your board meeting, I must listen. But I want you, I will tell you, this is the way I used to do it. I want you to innovate. Do it differently. Do the unthinkable. Serve, because if you cannot, if leadership cannot spur you to innovate, it becomes a problem. You must, for you to successfully impact your community, constant education. And that is why I appreciate Lions for trainings. This is the maiden edition. And I'm telling you that if this is the maiden, it means that there will be much more that should come. There's no way that you feel that I'm a PhD, I'm this, I'm that, and it means that I know it all. No, that it doesn't end there. Even in Lions, there are certain things you must also learn. I know we are into service. We are into we do a lot of projects. I've seen Lions, a lot of projects that Lions also does. We are almost in the same business of impacting lives. A transformational leader must be able to innovate, must be able to lead with compassion, give adequate training, let them understand, let members, let your followers, let them understand the clear path, let them be able to journey with you and then be able to get to the promised land together. Even our Lord Jesus Christ also led the 12 disciples with clear vision, with clear goals. And that is why when he was going around picking them, he was picking them and he was delegating. So it means that leadership had started right from before the earth was created. So it means that leadership will definitely continue. Of a truth, training. Because if you don't train those coming behind, it means that you will die with a lot of things you have. And the impact, impacting your community may have some deficiencies. Sincerely, it is important that as a true leader, we must be able to lead our community, our members to the promised land. I would a lot of things when we begin to say this, even 1 hour that I was giving may not be too enough. And I also want to be conscious, because even as a leader, you must also understand your followers. You must be conscious of time. Some of our leaders are not time conscious. When I was president, when I tell you our meeting is 7 for 7:30 p.m. And when I became president, I know and sometimes you see that we end our meeting by 10, 11, we are still meeting, and at the end of the day, and when I became president, I told them, I said, no, even the bylaw says we should have a 1 hour meeting. And I can assure you the bylaws, and it says that we should start our meeting for 7 and 7:30. 7 to 7:30 is fellowship, and 7:30 to 8:30 is our meeting. And immediately it was clear. 8:30, they thought that it was a joke. The first meeting, 8:30, it was done. Some people walked in 9 o'clock and they met an empty hall, and they were like, what's happening? No meeting today. They said the meeting is ascended. So I gave a clear understanding of the goal, where we want to achieve. And a lot of people, even till date, they will always say, no, Demola Martins has changed the narrative. That you think meeting cannot end in accordance with the bylaw that is regulating us. No, it will end. It can. And I made it was very clear. And we still was able to achieve 100% of what we set as our goals. Sincerely, I had a beginning And I will end with this, my short story. I joined an organization, this club called Rotary, some 10 years ago. And the reason why I joined was because I left Lagos, and I lived outside Lagos for about 10, 15 years. So when I returned back to Lagos and I got married, returned back to Lagos, and I started living in Festac. Most of my friends are in Agege, so I cannot be traveling from Festac to Agege to go and be hanging out with my friends. So I had to look for, and because before I left, I've been a JCI where we do leadership and we make some also transform lives through projects. I had to look for an organization, and I got Rotary, and I started fellowshipping with them, and there I got there, I realized that this is where I think I belong. There was opportunity for me to donate generously to Rotary Foundation that makes impact all over the world. There was opportunity for me to donate within the club. There was opportunity to run projects. And I told myself that one day I would also lead the club. And right from day one that I told myself that, I started putting everything, ensure that I have mentors within the club that were mentoring me. I read profiles of district governors that read profiles of presidents. I looked at what they've been able to achieve over the years using their profile. I put everything together and I was taking it one step after the other. And after 7 years, I put myself forward to be vice president, and I was losing back to back. I'm president. I was losing election, but I was not bothered. I was not bothered because I have a clear vision, a clear goal to be president. And lo and behold, at the right time, when God wanted me to be president, I became president. And for every of my goals that I penciled down, one of the major projects I had with the support of my wonderful board of directors was a maternal and health project where we had to do surgery to about 60 fibroid operations. That was massive. And for me, that was my parting gift as president. And I believe with the team, with what we were able to do with the team, with what the vision that I had, that I shared with the team, they were in support and we were able to achieve it. And that is why I always say that immediately I left office, that heaven was rejoicing over me, because I was very clear about my goals. Everybody saw my leadership style. They saw how genuine I was. And till date, most of my members, even my current president, still call me day in, day out to seek advice, because they say one thing they want to take away from me is they want to understand my style that I don't feel dejected. I am always very focused. The way I run my activity, when I don't believe that anybody is against me, I had a clear vision. And I can tell you for free, if you check my DM, you will see most of our members asking me questions. What that means that I've been able to influence a lot of people. I've been able to influence, and most of them are doing wonderfully well. It is important that if your life cannot influence people, it means that you need to start all over again. It means that you are not a leader. If you are not able to make people discover themselves, it means that you are not a leader. If you think it is only you, it means that you are not a leader. Because only purposeful and intentional leaders can inspire service, develop leaders, and transform community. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rotarian Demola. In fact, it's a loaded session. I'll just run through what you have just put us through under 5 minutes before we start the question and answer session. The first thing you said was, how do I make impact? How do we all make impact? Then, what does leadership entail? Part of what you said was that as a leader, you must have the ability to influence. Assuming you have a project next year or you have a project presently, you must let other people know how you are about to run that project. It is not just about you. How you run it, they must be involved in it. And you also said that you can never give what you don't have. If you don't have certain qualities in you, there is no way you can deliver. And most of the time, the followers, because they have not stepped into leadership, they feel it is only when they are leaders that they can make impact. It is not true. As a follower, you can make impact. It is not about title. It is not about position. You start from where you are. Whatever assignments you are being given, do it well. And that is when you can be recognized. Followers feel you can only make impact when you are a leader. It is totally not true. Leadership is about responsibility. It is important to lead from the assignment given to you at club level, at region level, at zone level, or at district levels. Leadership is about service. And it is about vision. The ability to influence others is leadership. We must lead with purpose. And to lead with purpose, we must set goals. Our goals must be clear enough. When you are a leader, you must be ready to attend all functions, meetings. Don't be a leader that will be absent from club meetings, that will be absent from other meetings that you are supposed to attend. As a leader, must know you. If you are a leader, your followers must know you for who you are. Don't even compromise your standard. Let them know you for who you are. Do not pretend. They will understand your kind of leadership. They will understand who you are. You must be genuine. This is very important because most of the time we always feel that because we want to satisfy our followers, we have to reduce our standards or change who we are. No, be genuine, be intentional. Let them know who you are, and followers will naturally follow you. Yeah. Leadership begins with service. You must inspire. Listen to your subordinates as well. Don't be the only one talking. Listen to them. Know their challenges. You must empower your members. And you must be ready to sacrifice if you are a leader. So many times we may be busy, but as a leader, we are committed already. Just today, I was at my office. I went to about 2 sites. From the site, I had to go and organize my club service activity for the month. After that, I went back to the office, and here I am coordinating this GIT training. So as a leader, you must be ready to sacrifice. For any position you take, you must make it juicy. Challenge the process. Don't let it be the same way you have always been doing it. Be creative about how you deliver the assignment. And naturally, everyone will want to join you. And this way, you will build leaders among leaders. You must also train on how to achieve success. You cannot be a leader to fail. As a leader, you must be ready to succeed. So you must train on how to achieve success. You must also recognize potentials and discover leaders. In my club, if we have new members, we give them assignments immediately. So that is what I expect other clubs to also do. And you must push them. If you don't push them to be leaders, there are some people that always run from responsibility or position, but you must push them as a leader. You must motivate them. You must encourage them and also mentor them intentionally so that there will be consistency in the club. Delegate responsibility for the new members and younger ones in order to have a thriving club. Leadership is successful when communities become better. If you can't build a successful leaders, you can't achieve success. You must do the unthinkable. You must be a transformational leader. You must innovate. You must have compassion, and you must have clear paths. On that note, I will welcome our participants to ask our guest speaker any question. We can entertain about 5 questions, and if you have any other questions, you can type it in the chat box. So if you want to answer a question, you can indicate by raising up your hands. Thank you. Does anyone have any question to ask her? Because that's the only way it can show that we are really listened. Okay, you can speak. Lion Abdulkarim Yusuf, Region 2 chairperson.
Thank you. I must confess that the lecture was clearly and well delivered and clearly understood. I just want to ask the facilitator. He mentioned in his definition 3 qualities that should stand out in a leader. And these qualities are: a leader must be able to inspire, a leader must be impactful, and visionary. My question is, must these 3 qualities be found, or can there be a deficiency of 1 or 2 of the quality? Or does it mean if the 3 qualities are not found, the person is not a leader or will not be an impactful leader? I need a clarification on that. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. If I will take that, it is even in there's no one that can be 100%. There's no one that can be 100%. For you, you must. What I just said was that if you have these qualities, even these qualities that can be developed over years, over time, if you have these qualities, it makes you a clear leader. But the most important thing for you to be able to build leaders out of leaders, you must be able to replace. You cannot give what you don't have. You cannot give what you don't. Even you yourself will know. You will be able to tell yourself, because you cannot deceive yourself, that truly I know I am not a leader. Because there are some certain things you cannot you cannot do away with if you truly want to be seen as a leader. And sincerely, aside from those 3 things you mentioned, there are a lot of things you must, even that I cannot even be, because if you begin to the attribute of a leader, the characteristics of a leader, if you begin to enumerate them, you will have a long list. But there are some basic things, and that's what I've mentioned, basics that you must have to be able to be called a leader. And that is why I position that. But aside that, look at you see quite a lot of things, a lot of attributes that is expected of a leader. But those ones I mentioned are the basics.
Okay, thank you, Rotary and Demola. Any other question? Is there any other question, please?
Yeah, good evening, great Lions and Rotarian on the call.
Good evening.
Yeah, my name is Lion Abiodun, and I want to take it up from where the facilitator has mentioned that when he was trying to build his leadership skill within the Rotary Club, He was learning. And that's what I actually picked from his word. He was learning from past leader and emulating, looking into their profile, ticking his box, building himself over time to be able to get to a point where it's a break point and his leadership skill is noticed by members. And which is what I take from what he has said, that learning is continuous. Like he noted, you cannot give what you don't have. So those things that we don't have, there is no time for us to stop learning. That's what I picked from what he has said today. That it's a continuous process and it will get to a breaking point where your learning will be identified and members will know a worthy leader has arrived and you will excel and be able to lead a team. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be part of this team. And I want to thank the facilitator for bringing this giant in us out tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. We are still waiting for more questions before we end the session. While waiting for the question, I want to appreciate all the town planners that attended this Lions Learning Lodge. I appreciate you a lot. Thank you, my professional body and members. Okay, Lion Habib, you can go ahead. Lion Habib.
Okay, good evening. Yeah, good evening, the DG present and the IPDG, fellow Lions, and the facilitator. I appreciate your lecture today. But my question is, you make reference to, most people, when you have a kind of personality in the club, and you are the type that you feel things should be this way, this is how it should look. Yeah, most people do that in the club, but you find out doing that, it makes everybody see you like somebody different or with a kind of rigid view, rigid opinion. But to most people, they don't really see the good things. For example, let me give you an instance, mostly in clubs where you have the club account and they feel for easy money movement, they prefer to use somebody's account. And you are the kind of person that will say, okay, no, why not do that? We have a club account, let's run things with club account. At that point, people see you as if you are a blockade to things going. Forgetting there's a procedure, there's a rule when it comes to running a club. So in such situations, how do you handle it as a person with that kind of trait?
Okay. Thank you so much. You see, for me, I feel that the mistake have been made right from day one, because go and check it out. That leader that feels that he should use his private account has been doing everything that has been against principle right from day one, and you manage him to become president. So it means that you are going to live with it. Because for me, I've also had circumstances like that, and that is why you see that, because obviously that is wrong. And that is why we need the board to be able to sit on such a situation. It is not only you, because if it's only you, you'll be shouting. I've had a situation in my club where I tell them, no, this cannot work. This does not work. They say, no, this. I said, no, it's done. But I now realize that it looks as if I'm shouting. So it now becomes everybody against you. But the most important thing is, this is where the leadership structure, the policy, the bylaws come into play. The board of directors attention must be called to this. It is only the board, not an individual. And it must be done with respect. Because so that you will not be seen as an antagonist, you must be able to channel this to the appropriate quarters. We have like I said, the board of directors. One can call the attention of the board of directors to it, because that's the only solution. If not, they will just see you as an enemy. They see you as this. Saying the right thing. What you are saying is the right thing. How can someone be using his private account to run the club's business? That is unthinkable. But a lot of people do it. A lot of people. So, but the most important thing is you must be able to run that change through an appropriate quarters. For us, on this side, is we run it through the board of directors. And most of the time, sometimes we push it to the league of past presidents. Once you push it, they call the president or whoever to order. I think that is my own fair solution.
Okay, thank you, Wotere and Demola. 2 more questions before we close. Like by DCS, go ahead with your question, sir. Lion Waheed Ishola. Hello, sir. Are you muted?
Hello, can you hear me?
Okay, we can hear you, sir.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I am still on the road, but I must commend our facilitator for tonight. It's an illuminating lecture that he has given. And I want to seriously appreciate the DGLT for the continuation of this exercise. And also to say that, yes, there are a lot of itches here and there from different clubs that we need to share knowledge. And this knowledge that has been shared today, we must, as a matter of importance, abide by it, because the facilitator has said so many things bordering on, how we need to operate, how we need to have mutual respect, how we need to do things where it should be done. And I will say that this is a good thing that is happening at this time, So I commend you for what you have done. I commend the facilitator, and I say, thank God this is coming up. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, our DCS. You were actually supposed to do the vote of thanks, but I think you have already done it. So thank you. So if there are other questions, if you have any other question, you can put it on the chat box, and our facilitator can quickly attend to it. We close in the next 5 minutes. ICT, please, can we have pictures of all the participants? Can you help us take the picture? How can Lions leader ensure that their leadership remains purpose-driven rather than position-driven? Lion Omotomike Ibikunle, can you attend to the question?
It's clear. Purpose-driven rather than position-driven. It's clear. If there's no clear, like I said, if there's no clear goals, you know that it's not purpose-driven. If there are no clear goals, if everything the leader is doing is about himself, it's about this, it's about that, using private accounts, you should know that all those ones are not purpose-driven. You are not delegating, you are not empowering, you are not. How can that be purpose-driven? If it's not purpose-driven, it means you actually want that position. A lot of people want position because they want to fill up their biography. A lot of people just fill the position. A lot of people are president by happenstance or by circumstance. So for you to be, it is clear, for you to be a purposeful leader, that it is those things I've said are not negotiable. Clear goals, understand the assignments. You are not a leader by happenstance. It must be value-driven. It must be authentic, as in very genuine, and you must be passionate about service. If those qualities are not there, that person is just for himself, and that person cannot be taken as a leader. Even as a lion, you are president, you are club leader, you are this. You must understand where are you taking us to. Where are you? And that is the point. Where are you taking us to? We must understand where you are taking us to before we can follow you. So if somebody, and that's why sometimes I encourages people to come and give, even at club, though we don't do it in our in Rotary anyway. But I like manifesto. Once you come with your manifesto, you will tell that manifesto give us a clear picture of where you are taking us to. We will know if where you are taking us to is River Niger, and we are going to drown. We will know. And once you give us, we know that this is not the right person for. So if any leader does not have this clear, these 5 attributes that are listed, I don't think that person is a possible. Even and Lions should also watch out for such a person before you make that person a leader. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Oteria Demola Martins. In fact, we had an impactful section. I want to appreciate you once again on behalf of our district governor, Lion Eda Johnson Efu Komaya, and all the Lions in District 404A3 MD 404 Nigeria. I believe that when we call you again, you'll be able to attend to us. I really learned a lot, and I believe others have also learned. Thank you. Please fill the attendance form is on the chat box. Please fill it. We had about 91 participants. This is our first edition, and it's very impressive that we had good turnout. We shall be having the next one in August. 3rd Wednesday in August is a date. Almighty Lord will see us more than that time. I believe you all had a wonderful session, and whatever we must have learned, let us practicalize it, not just listening, not just attending, and we will not make use of all we have learned. Thank you so much. Thank you all for attending. God bless you. Good night.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you. God bless you too.
Have you taken pictures?
Good night.
Lion Franklin, hello.
Good night.
Send the link.
Lion Franklin.
Everyone, good night.
I have not taken pictures. I have
Well
not.
done, my
Let us take
GLT.
picture. Hello.
Our
Lion
facilitators.
Franklin, I've
Thank
been
you.
announcing,
Thank you.
let us take picture.
Thank you.
Please.
It's been a good outing. God bless all of us.
Can we
Good
take
night.
picture, please? Lion, put on your video. Hello. Put on your video, please. Put on your video. Put on your video. Let us take it, Lion. Lion. Are we okay?
Well, let's just still hang on, please. I'm still taking
Please
pictures.
hang on. Please hang on. I hope our guest speaker is still here.
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm still here, man.
Thank you. Please, let's take picture, please. Lion Franklin, Lion Dr. Franklin, Lion Pastor. Are we okay?
Just a
Hello?
little while more. Please hang in for me. Thank you.
Hold on, yes. I can't.
Good night, everyone. Good night. Good night.
Good night. We take picture the next one. Good night.
Good night. Okay, good night, everybody.
Good night. Good night.
everybody.
See
Good
you
night.
in August. See you in August.